Welcome to the Big Slice Music Show here on That's TV. I'm your host, Paul, for the evening, and I've got a superb guest on the sofa with me. It's John Haycock. He's an instrumentalist from Salford. Welcome to the show, John.
Thanks for having me.
And we're going to get Artie straight into your music in a minute, but we've got the kora next to us. So what's the first song we're going to do as we go into it?
The first piece that I performed was called Never Let You Go. And I use the kora and I run it through a series of electronic effects and a looping station to create a kind of soundscape. And I can also play like a percussive beat, which I use the kora to do by tapping it like that. And then I play the clarinet, which is the instrument that I learned as a child, over the top of it.
Okay, this is John Haycock in session, SSR, for the Big Slice Music Show. Check this out. Magical, isn't it? The kora.
Yeah, it's quite an instrument, and it's something that you don't really see every day.
It's used like rap artists as well, don't you, to really bring it alive?
My kind of concept with connecting it with rap, there's a very specific reason why I did that, because this instrument comes from West Africa, specifically Mali, Senegal, and Gambia, what was once the Mali Empire a long time ago, and there was a very large proportion of slaves were taken from that part of Africa over to America and were put to work in the plantation fields. And my argument is that they took the musical ideas, they included this instrument along with them, and that developed on into like initially slave songs, and then into blues, into jazz, into funk, and so on, and it ends up at hip hop and goes further into modern electronic music. So you can arguably say that this instrument, or the culture that it comes from, is the roots of all modern popular music today. Wow. So I like to join the dots and try and connect. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so the second song we did in session this evening?
The second song is called Little Blue. This one's got no clarinet in it. It's just with the kora. If you look out for the sessions of March, this tune will also be featured with a cello and a piano, but here it is with just me by myself.
Oh, there we go. John Haycock. Couldn't have said it better himself. That was, of course, Little Blue by John Haycock on the sofa. What a tune.
Thank you.
How do you start to bring music like that together?
I find that I don't really like to say that I make it or I write it. I almost feel like I kind of discover it. I don't know if that sounds... I don't know. I'm just kind of sit down and... Usually in the evening it works best, and just play a kind of stream of consciousness from inside myself and then listen back to it, and what sounds good I keep and I practice that and try and get it tight and solid.
Oh, that's what it's about. Beautiful, beautiful music. Still more music's come on after the break from yourself.
Yeah.
We're going to stay tuned. This is the Big Slice Music Show on That's TV. That's John Haycock. Go and get the kettle on. It's your turn for the booze. Welcome back to the Big Slice Music Show here on That's TV. I want to talk about this because this instrument is just magical. I mean, the looping you do and kind of how you do it all live when you're in session is absolutely magic. I mean, so we know this from Africa as an instrument. Yeah. How are they built, and kind of how do you bring it all together to tune it up, and what are these strings and...
Okay, so the base of it here, this is the shell of a vegetable called a calabash or a gourd. It's similar to a large pumpkin, and that's cut in half, and all the stuff is scooped out of it. And then you can actually see that this one was broken in half when I had it shipped over, and I just super glued it back together because this was the one that I chose.
So it's built completely from scratch?
Completely from scratch, completely by hand. There's not any like machinery involved in doing it. Very little measurements as well. It's all done by eye. So around the outside of the body, you've got cow skin, which is put on when it's wet, and then it dries onto it, so it clasps onto it. The wood is an African hardwood called babinga. Yeah. Here you've got some thumbtacks for decoration. The strings are made out of fishing line, so there's different thicknesses.
Big fish for them,
Well, it's the ones here, the bass strings are 200-pound breaking tension, which are braided together to make 400 pounds breaking tension. Okay. And they go down thinner as it goes up to 30 pounds at the top.
So, I mean, how do you begin to tune something like this? There's so many strings.
Each string, there's 21 strings, and each string is tied onto one of these rings here. Okay. And then it loops around, and then you use a tool to pull it tight to give it tension. Yeah. And then you want to make sure there's a gap in between each of these rings. And then if you want the string to go higher in pitch, you push the ring up. Got you. Or if you want to make it go lower in pitch, you bring the ring down.
Is that like a wax on there or something? Is it?
The rings are made out of cow skin. Again, it's the same thing. They're cut into two little strips and braided together and put on when it's wet. And it dries onto it, and then
goes tight.
I use a mixture of sugar and water that acts like a kind of glue to help it stick together so that they don't come down all the time.
It's fantastic. It's beautiful to listen to. It's so easy on the ear, isn't it? You know, but then you can kind of add the clarinet and other instruments in there as well. Yeah. And you did that in Waves as well. The tune that's coming up now.
Yeah, this is Waves. Yeah,
fantastic. This is John Haycock, and this is Waves. absolute belter. That was obviously John Haycock with Waves. Beautiful song, mate.
Thank you.
It's just so dreamy. It's great for a Sunday night, isn't it?
Yeah.
So how did you get into something like this? It's not, you don't stumble across, unless you're in Manchester busking.
I kind of did stumble across it, actually. My teacher, I literally saw him playing it in the street and fell in love with it and just thought I would like to have a go at that. And I asked him if he would teach me, and he said, "Are you serious?" I said, "Yeah." And then he said, "Okay, I'll teach you." And he started coming around to my house. And usually, if you have a music teacher, you give them £20 and they come, and then after an hour, and then they're gone out of the house.
Yeah.
And this guy, he'd come at 10 in the morning, and then in 3 in the afternoon, he'd saying, "Right, I've got to make my way now. I've got to go." And then at 7 in the evening, he's getting a phone call off his wife saying, "You know, you're coming home for your tea," because he did not want to leave until I could like kind of grasp what it was that he was trying to show me. And I'm really quite fortunate for that, because as well in the culture that this comes from, there are only 5 families that are allowed to play this instrument, and it's only the males from that family that are allowed to play it.
It's a real honour then.
It gets passed down from father to son, from father to son, from father to son. And my teacher is the 76th generation in his family of kora player, and each of those 76 generations, he can tell you what their name was, where they did, whereabouts they went in their life, things that they accomplished and that type of thing, because it's their job in their culture to keep the history of their society, because until very recently they've not had any kind of written language. So all of the history going back up to 1,000 years is passed down father to son through songs on this. Now I'm not any of that, you know, I'm just playing it and making a nice sound and trying to you know, engage it with other types of music as well.
Of course,
so I make no claim to that, but that is the cultural heritage of the instrument.
You've absolutely mastered it, and it's been, how long have you been playing it now?
Almost exactly 4 years now.
That's like, are you on social media? You got a presence on social media?
I have,
Facebook,
yeah. You can
Twitter?
search for the Kora Collective, or you can also search for my name, John Haycock, which is a separate page where you'll find more stuff relevant to what you've seen tonight on the show.
Fantastic. And if people are interested in learning to play this, or
then
building them,
get in touch with me on the internet, send me a message, give me a phone call. My phone number's up there on the page, and we can talk about it.
Well, I might put myself in for it.
Yeah, go for it.
Get along to it. Anyway, John, thanks for coming along to the show this evening on the Big Slice Music Show. Good luck for 2016. Hope it goes well for you. And you might find me at one of your lessons, actually. Yeah. It's cool. Right, anyway, I've been Paul Owen. It's still Sunday evening. Hope you enjoy the rest of your night. Make sure you tune in next week for the Big Slice Music Show, 9 till 9:30. Stay cool, Manchester. See you real soon.